Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. I hope you had a good long weekend. If you celebrated the 4th of July, maybe you took Friday off and had a nice long weekend. Maybe you're not even back yet. And maybe you'll be watching this as a recording at some point. I had a wonderful weekend. We did a lot of work in the yard. It was very hot out. So there's just lots of things to do. We've been in this house now 1 year, and I have to say I love it. And we're still making improvements on it though. And I think that's one of the things I love the most about being in this house is that we're no longer renting and we can make changes. And that is just so nice to be able to customize your house and make it a little bit better. But it is such slow going. I feel like I'm spread so thin, and I really appreciate that I can still stick to my schedule and do these videos for you on Tuesdays and Fridays. And I am very grateful that you're here with me because I think my videos are better when you are here. Oh, look at all the comments already. Oh my goodness. I haven't even plugged my camera in, so that would be a good thing for me to do. So let's see. I think it looks like my sound's working today. I'm still on my MacBook sound, so I have to figure out what happened to my port. I have not sorted that out yet. Gosh, I don't think I've had any time in my life before this where I've had things going on in so many different levels of my life that I've had to juggle. And I'm sure many of you have had that your whole life, and I don't know how you've done it, but I am just like, wow. Sometimes I'm like, why didn't I take care of my sound issue and get my mic back online? Okay, let's see. All right, okay, now I've got my camera online over in the corner. Good. All right, okay, I will talk to all of you afterwards, and I love to do that, and I love to jump right in and talk about what's happening today. We are making a card, and it is Casing Tuesday, and I say this every Tuesday, but it's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and give it a makeover. And you can take the card and copy it exactly, or you can make some changes, or you can completely revamp it. I think I did quite a few changes on this card today. And one of the things I love is that I was able to use online exclusives today. I got my order for some of the new online exclusives, and I'm going to be sharing some of them with you today. And that's always fun to have a new product. And it is July, and it's kind of like Christmas in July. A lot of the new online exclusive products, there were several bundles, paper, embellishments, ribbon. They were very much holiday themed. So fall, Halloween, and Christmas. And but we will still have a holiday catalog too. This is just kind of a nice release to have right now because I know a lot of people love to work ahead. So that is really fun. So let's have a look at the card. That is today's card. Let me scoop my head over here. This is today's card. I love it. It's perfect this is a nice card for the summer. It's got some plants growing with heartfelt sympathy is the greeting. It's a very sweet card. And that's on page 48 of the annual catalog. And that's our card that we're making over. And then we have a sketch for you. So, this sketch, what I see when I do a sketch, it's usually a little bit more bare bones than this. So probably my sketch would have just been the big circle and the rectangle. So the other shapes on there, those ovals, you don't have to do those ovals. Those are kind of placeholders if you want to do something in those areas, if you want to follow the card more specifically. But in my mind, when I looked at the sketch, I deleted the ovals and I only saw the circle and the rectangle, and that was kind of what I built my base around. Not only did I do that, but I shoved my circle and rectangle to the opposite side because my images just lent themselves better to being on the opposite side. I'll show you in a second why I had to do that in order to kind of get the feel of the card to be correct. So there's a sketch. Those are posted on my blog, and they're also posted in our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. And if you want links to anything I talk about today, look below in the description of the video. You might need to click on see more or show more, and that will open up that page, and it will give you a link to the supply list. It will give you a link to Casing Tuesday Facebook group if you want to join that. You want to share your card, you want to play along, yay, play along, and post your card on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group, and I will be posting my card there too. So let's get rid of these, and I'll show you my card. So here is my card. And you can see right here, I had to move, if I wanted to have this handle right here and have it be stamped and die cut, it had to be on this side. If I was just die cutting it, it could have been on either side, but I like the detail of the handle. So, and right now it's not that easy. I don't have a device where it's really easy to turn an image around and die cut it because we don't have a stamp positioner right now. So I just left it on this side and I shoved everything to the other side. So you can see how I omitted those ovals. They're not there, but it's just like a happy scene with that. It's called Filled with Cheer. This is the new online exclusive called Filled with Cheer, and the cool thing is that it matches the Filled with Love bundle. Let me open this up because I've got the dies. Got the dies right here, and they're the Filled with Fun dies with the Filled with Fun stamp set. This is a bundle, so if you buy them together, you save 10%. But you can buy them separately. I'll just let you know right now, I just checked this morning and the Filled with Fun dies are on low inventory. And we all know why, because they match the Filled with Cheer stamp set. So the things that match the Filled with Cheer, the dies that match, it won't be the plants and it won't be the snowman, but these little bulbs right here, they match this little banner die. The little wheel right here matches a die, and the wagon right here matches a die. So 3 of these images, and they're kind of 3 key images, match this die. And I'm hoping to do a 3D with this on Friday, but I have a feeling that the dies might run out before then. So I might have to shove that 3D until a later time when they're back in. I'm hoping they would have ordered more of the dies when they released this Filled with Cheer stamp set, because obviously people would want the dies to match this stamp set. So hopefully those will be coming out in not too long if they sell out, because it's I didn't get Filled with Fun because there were other bundles that I wanted, and so I didn't get it until I saw that we had another stamp set that matched it. Now it makes it even better, right? When we have more things that match it. All right, let's get started. I'm going to make this card for you, and I'll share some tips along the way. Oh, and I want you to help me decide some colors, because I'm using this, there's this new paper. It's called Iconic Celebration. It is also a new release, and I'm gonna fan this paper. Oh, it's gonna not it's not going to do well. I'll show it to you when my down facing camera is on, but it is paper and it works really well with this stamp set. So this is one of the papers back here, the snowflake paper, but I thought I would show you how you could use the other paper just as well with this stamp set, so that you know that you don't, there's only 4 sheets of this snowflake paper, so you can only get 4 cards out of the pack. So I want to show you how you can use some of the other colors, and it also looks very nice. And I'm going to let you help me choose that. Okay, let's see. Oh, one other thing before I get too much further, I just want to make sure my volume is amped up here. Sometimes I spend so much time getting ready and even all the things that I do, I still sometimes don't remember to do everything. Okay, I hope my volume is good because I'm using my Mac book for my speakers. So, all right. Oh, one more thing before we switch to my other camera. I do have a host code going this month, and there it is. And this is the gift if you spend $50 or more this month. These are the iridescent faceted gems. Actually, we're using them today on the card. See right there? There's some samples. They have this cutest, oh, my Siri went off. They have the cutest little sparkles right here. Oh, right. Oh, it's so hard to do the mirrored, but right there. So I'm using them on the card today. These are not available right now, as far as I remember. I think they're coming in at the end of the month, so I'm hoping to scoop them up at the beginning of August, because I do all my purchasing of the embellishments right when the end of the month happens. So I'm hoping to get these for you because I think they're really nice. They're neutral, but they're wonderful for the holiday season. So just make sure you use this host code, spend at least $50, and you will get these gems. Not only that, we're into bonus days. So for every $50 you spend on an order, you will get a $5 coupon to use in August. You can bundle all of your coupons. Say you earn 3 or 2, you can bundle them all and use them on one order in August. So it's a really nice thing. You get a gift from me and you get a gift from Stampin' Up of a $5 coupon, $5 off coupon that you can use in August. And that is throughout the month of July that you can earn those coupons. Okay. All right, I'm gonna switch to my other camera. Let's move these over here for a second. I said I was gonna kind of show you this paper real quick. So we've got trees and there's cherry cobbler and mossy meadow in here. We've got kind of branches and candy canes. Then we've got hearts and little champagne flutes. We've got acorns and polka dots. We've got kind of a plaid pattern and a little holly berry branch. We've got green stripes and leaves on the other side. We've got, this is kind of like fireworks and candles. I really like these. I have to say, I sometimes like neutrals. So we have some trees and the snowflakes, pumpkins, and another plaid pattern. We've got doves and not quite a snowflake, but kind of a little star motif. And then we've got trees and stripes, angled stripes. And finally, we've got polka dots and stars. So a really nice paper pack. The colors in here, we can find them on the back, are Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Mossy Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Pecan Pie. And these are, this is an online exclusive product, so you won't find it in your catalog, but you will find it online. So if you look in the description of the video, there will be a link to this, or just type in Iconic Celebrations and it will pull it up for you as one of the items. Iconic Celebrations, I think, matches some other products too, but I think it works really well with our little filled with cheer stamp set. Okay, let's get started and let's make this card. And the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you to decide what color we're going to do. Are we going to do Pecan Pie card base, or are we going to do Mossy Meadow? So let me know below which color you want. This is Pecan Pie, the brown one, and this is Mossy Meadow. You could say brown or green or pecan or mossy, or just let me know. And I'm going to just do a little quick tally and find out which color you want me to use. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some stamping. All right. I pre-cut myself a circle, and you might recognize these dies. These are the Spotlight on Nature dies, and they are lovely, and they have this really nice edge, so that works perfectly for this. So I used the largest die right here to cut the circle out of basic white, and we're going to take this snowman scene and we're going to ink it up. This is on an E block, I believe. Yes, it's a big E block, not the biggest block we have, but it's pretty big. And I'm just going to ink this up, making sure that I hit all of those little details, especially on the tree. Just kind of move this around. And I want to stamp this close to the top because we need to squeeze our wagon on there. With a big stamp like this, sometimes it's good to just stand up and just do pressure and just a teeny tiny bit of a wiggle. And then stamp, let it go. With tiny stamps, you don't want to use a lot of pressure, but with bigger stamps, it's good to kind of give it a little bit more steady pressure and then just a little wiggle, which helps get the rest of the image onto the page. So we've got that going. We also want to stamp the wagon, and I'm just going to show you real quick. So in Filled with Cheer, we have this wagon, and in Filled with Fun, we have this wagon. So you can choose if you have both of them, but if you only have the Filled with Cheer, then of course you will use this one. And you don't have to stamp it. It could be a plain one, but I don't know if you can see on here. Oh, let's see. There's a little bit of detail on that wagon, which is kind of nice. So I don't want it to be overwhelming, so I'm just going to use crumb cake ink on crumb cake cardstock. I'll just tap this, and we're going to just, it's a foam pad, so you don't want to squish it too much in, but I'm tapping it, and then we're going to stamp it right on to the crumb cake, and we'll die cut that in just a second. And we'll bring back in our tuxedo ink pad, and this time we're going to take a little piece of scrap basic white. I have these are the lights from the Filled with Cheer stamp set, and I did do a little bit of an alignment with the die. I'm going to show you, if I remember, I'll show you how I did that. since this is a long, skinny stamp set, sometimes it can shift a little bit so it doesn't fit the die very well because it has shifted. Not because it doesn't match the die, it's because of the way it was placed on the block. So we just have to kind of make sure with our photopolymer stamps that they stay true to the die shape if we want to die cut them out. So remind me to show you that if I forget. Then we want to take 2 of these wheels and we'll just stamp one of them here. With the wheels, you want to use a little bit of a lighter touch because they're small. And then we'll grab the handle. Oh, I can see right now that that did not ink very well the first time. We'll grab the handle and we'll just add that. So these are just some pieces I'm going to need to die cut. And I think I got all the things that need to be die cut. So let's pull out our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This one, of course, I already die cut the circle, and this circle is a little bit too big to fit through the mini emboss machine. So I'm going to I'm going to use my bigger machine. And for the smaller images, you really could use the mini emboss, but not for that big circle. So that's why this is the supply that I have listed. Okay, here's my big machine. Let me zoom out a bit. So my handle is over here. I'm going to crank that through. And we want our base platform, number 1, thin die adapter number 2, a clear plate for the bottom. And remember, these plates come with your machine, so you don't have to buy anything extra once you get the machine. Let's grab the dies. We're going to grab this wagon die first. We're going to grab some Post-it labeling and cover-up tape. It's like the top of a Post-it note, but it's on a roll instead because I use it a lot and I don't want to have to cut up Post-it notes constantly. So I'm just going to align this and we'll pin it down. And we'll grab this piece too. We're going to at least die cut some things on here. Let's grab, oh, we've got 2 circles. So I guess, let's see if we can fit everything on here. Okay. We'll put that circle there. Let's put, are we going to fit you on here? Will it fit? Oh, just barely. Just barely. Okay, let's pin that down. Then we'll grab another circle. Oh, I know we're not going to, actually, I'm going to leave the other circle and the handle for the second round. We'll just die cut all of this first. Put the other clear plate on top, gently put it down, and then we're going to die cut those first pieces. If I had spread my little pieces a little better, it would have worked. Okay, so here is this one. Then we've got the wagon. Oops, I'm throwing things on the floor. Okay, got one of the wheels. And now we're going to do the other wheel. And we'll do the handle. Oh, will the handle fit? Will it fit? So when you're aligning this handle, you want to make sure you're going to have a bit of hang off here. That's just so you can tuck the handle underneath something. Mine actually looks like it's going to cut right into an open space. That's okay because it's going to be tucked underneath, so it's not a big deal. Okay, stick that down and let's die cut this. So peel this off. Another wheel. And then this is the handle, and I just kind of want to show you, tap on this, focus on my finger. See right there where I kind of cut into this open piece of the banner. So this theoretically could have been a little bit longer, but I probably didn't give it enough room, but it doesn't matter because I am tucking that handle behind the wagon. So even though it's just a little teeny tiny bit that's sticking out, focus on me, there we go. It's going to tuck underneath, so it's really not going to matter. Okay, let's pop all of these away. This is going to get out of the way. All right. Okay, so I've got these guys and I want to do some coloring. We're going to do some coloring on all of these. So let's bring out some Stampin' Blends and let's do some coloring. And you know, if you don't like coloring, this is probably the only image that absolutely needs coloring. Some of these you could actually die cut out of colored cardstock and just get by without coloring, but I do like to color. So we're going to take the wheels and I'm going to make the outer part of the wheel black. This is basic black light. Basic black dark is very dark, and you tend to lose detail if you're going over a line drawn image. Even with the light, you do lose a lot of the detail, but I wanted these to look like tires. Okay, so that's basic black. Then we're going to take cherry cobbler and we're going to take a light cherry cobbler. We'll do the center of the wheel, like the little hubcap in cherry cobbler, just for a pop of color. Okay, those are done. And then we're going to take, I'm going to repeat the pattern on this card here. So we're going to color a few of these lights, cherry cobbler light. Then I'm going to bring my snowman over, and there's a few things that are cherry cobbler on here. The band of the hat, the scarf, and the balls on the Christmas tree, the little, they're probably little glass ornaments. And I think that's all the red. Cherry cobbler. Okay, next color is going to be Misty Moonlight Light. And for that, we're going to very carefully color the brim of the hat. And I could have done the hat in black. I do realize that, but I wanted to introduce like a little bit more blue onto my image, so it went blue, and that's fine. And then we'll grab this and we'll color a couple more of the lights on here. I've developed a little pattern that I'm going to keep. And let's see, I think that's all for Misty Moonlight. Next up, we're going to do the nose of the carrot nose of the snowman. And we'll do the star of the tree, and that will be Daffodil Delight Dark. And of course, if you're not familiar with these, Stampin' Blends come in pairs, so they come with a light and a dark. So I'm just telling you which of the two I'm using, but you'll get both if you buy them. All right, let's do this one. Has been a little bit tricky. Sometimes when I pull this one, this whole thing comes out. So if that happens, I just stick the center back in, align it in the center and pull it back in. And then as I'm opening my cap, I kind of give it a little twist and a wiggle instead of pulling straight out, and that helps it release without pulling the whole black part. Normally that shouldn't happen. And if you notice that right away, if you purchase these and if you notice that right away, you can contact Stampin' Up! And get a replacement. I just didn't realize right away, and I wasn't bothered enough by it to ask for a replacement, but you absolutely can. Okay, I'm using, this is Pecan Pie Light, and this is going to be a wooden sled. You could make it a different color too. And I'm just coloring it all Pecan Pie Light. All right, we are, oh, one thing I did forget with my lights, I want some yellow lights on here. And then the last color, oops, my lid popped off, didn't put it on. Last color I'm going to use is Mossy Meadow. And we're going to color, first of all, we're going to color this bulb so I don't forget it. This is light. Okay, so now that's colored. And now we're going to do the tree. And the way I did the tree is I just did little strokes from the outside of the tree to the inside. And sometimes when I did that, there might be a little bit of white space that shows up, and that's okay. That's okay, that just looks like snow. So you don't have to be perfect when you do this. So I just kind of start with one side of the tree and I work my way inward. And then I just keep going all the way around, little strokes. Little tiny strokes. And you can use other color mediums if you like. If you don't like Stampin' Blends, you could use a blender pen and inks. I just love Stampin' Blends. They are a lot of fun. So, ta-da! That worked out really nicely, huh? So there's my colored image. The snowman doesn't need to be colored, so that's nice. And we've kind of got everything ready to go and be assembled. There is one more thing that I want to do before I do some assembly, and that is, oh, we've got to pick some. We've got to look at. Let's see. Oh, whoa, we've got a lot of, I'm going to need to do a little tally here, unless someone else has done that for me. Let's do a little tally. I want to see Mossy and Pecan. Let's see. We've got Mossy and Pecan. All right, let's see. Okay, I think I found the start. So Mary voted Mossy. Louise said Pecan. Judy said Mossy. Birgit said green. Kristen said Mossy. Marty said Mossy. Sandy said Pecan. Amy's mossy. Barbara's mossy. I think I'm seeing mossy. Judy's, this is mossy. Okay, I think we're gonna do mossy. Nancy says mossy. All right, I guess the mossies have it. I thought there were more pecans in there, so I wanted to tally up. So we'll do mossy. So let's grab our card base real quick. Oh, before we do that, I have 2 pattern choices for you to choose from for our card. There's more than one mossy pattern. I think there's even more than this too. So now that will be the card base, but now you get to pick between stripes and branches. And we can do the stripes either horizontal or vertically, but I think I'm going to do them vertically if I choose those ones. So this is your second choice. And I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. This aside. What would you like now? Everything's a little crooked. Stripes or what will we call this? Branches. Stripes or branches. Let me know which one you want. And then we'll cut that down, and that will be the pattern paper that goes right over top of the card base. Okay. So we've got stripes or branches. Let me know. And we'll do one more thing, and then we'll assemble the card. So we need to create a little greeting. So I've got a little piece of cardstock here. It's basic white, 2.5 by 1/2 inch. We're going to grab the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. We're going to slide this in that 1/2 inch groove all the way to the end and give it a little punch. Oh, come on. Lift up. And then we're going to flip it. I'm going to put it all the way as far as it will go and give it another punch. And then pull it out, hopefully. Come on. Come on. 2.5 is about as small as you want to go lengthwise, because much beyond that, it's too hard to have enough room to put it in there. So 2.5 inches is about as far as you'll want to go with that. So we are going to take this. We are going to take our Memento ink, and we are going to take our little greeting, and we're going to ink it up in Tuxedo Black, and we'll just kind of see that it's centered, and there we go. We're ready with that greeting right there. Okay, let's have a look. Do I have to do another tally? Oh yeah, I'm going to do another tally. Okay, so let me scroll up. We're gonna do stripes and branches. Let's count. All right, I think I've got the start of that tally. Okay, Judy, you are stripes. Birgit is branches. Sandy is branches. Marty is branches. Teresa's branches. Louise is branches. Kristen branches. Nancy stripes. Amy is branches. Oh, I think we have a clear winner. Nancy Jones is stripes. Barbara's. Oh, wow, we're getting closer. Barbara Nichols is stripes, and then I have someone who isn't a specific name, but she said stripes. So, all right, it is 5-7. So the branches have it. So we're gonna go with branches. So let's get this prepped up here. And I'm gonna use my trimmer to score. I don't often use my trimmer to score because I love my scoring board, but since I'm gonna be doing some cutting and scoring, I thought it was just easier to do that. I'm gonna lift this up and just make sure you score and not cut this one. So this is a half piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, And I'm going to scoot this into the 4 1/4, line it up at 4 1/4, and we are going to go back and forth, and that will create the score line. And we can fold this in half, and we can, this is going to be easier with my trimmer out of the way, but just use my bone folder to smooth down the fold. So we have Mossy Meadow as our card base. And then we said branches. So this one we're going to cut at the 5 1/2 inch mark. Move the scoring blade out of the way, 5 1/2. And 4 1/4 will be the space. Now, I like to dry fit this because no matter how well you cut your pieces, sometimes the paper can be bigger or smaller. I feel like this is a pretty good fit on here. We could cut a hair off. I'm going to just cut a little tiny hair more off, just so it fits nicely. Oh, need a little, go all the way to the end of my groove there. Just cut a little tiny sliceroo off there. So now it's going to fit a little bit better. It's easier to do this before you glue it down than afterwards. I'm going to take this and glue it down. I didn't give you the candy cane option. I wanted to do neutral. So here we go, branches, 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 and glue this down. Okay, so then I found that it's easier to glue on here first and then glue it to the card. So the one thing we want to kind of make sure, that the Christmas greeting and the wagon match. Okay, match in terms of being parallel. And so it's kind of easier just to kind of pop them both on there and take a look. Okay, I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to glue the wagon down first, and then I can use that as my guide for being parallel. Okay, and I am covering up a teeny tiny bit of the snowman, which is fine. I am going to glue half of my little label down here and get that situated. That looks good. I just want it to be parallel. I don't know why that was kind of important to me. I think because the snowman is kind of on an angle and the sled is on an angle, and I kind of just wanted to make sure it looked good for me before gluing it onto the card base. Okay, so now let's grab a couple of dimensionals and we'll put them on the back of the wheels just to give them a little bit of height so they stick out. And we'll just kind of position them like that. I'll just try and make sure that they're height-wise, they're at the right height. Probably could have put this light on here first, because if you put the lights on here first and you put the wheels up too high, that can be an issue. So glue your lights on first, make sure they look happy, and then do the wheels afterwards. I forgot about that. So we'll just take these, and this just adds just a little tiny bit of fun. Oh, and the one thing I forgot to do was this handle, but that's okay. Usually there's enough room to just kind of stick that under and afterwards. So if you leave a little bit of glue or not glue on this side, then this will be easier to tuck under. if you do end up sticking this down, just heat this with your heat tool for just a little bit, and then this will lift up and you'll be able to tuck it underneath. Okay, so now we can glue this whole piece down. And we'll put a little glue over here, and we'll add the handle afterwards. And the key now will be to kind of keep this piece parallel and the wagon parallel and have it be square with the rest of the card. We can put that on there. And then this, we will just grab a little bit of glue and put it on the handle. And we'll kind of come through here. I want the handle, I know sometimes handles like this like to stick kind of straight up, but I want it so it's kind of coming off the circle. It kind of moves more into the card when you do that. Okay, and then let's grab some of these little iridescent faceted gems. And I'm going to grab a big one. I'm going to just lightly place this down. Since this is different paper, I don't know exactly where I want everything. So I place them first, and then we'll see about pressing down. Okay, I think, yeah, I want those out like that. The reason I want these around here is I want to draw attention to the greeting. So I like that. We'll press that down. I usually do things in odds, so 3 is a good number. And that's all there is to it. It's just a fun little card. Do you like the card that we built together? This one's a Mossy Meadow card. And then let's bring back in together. This is Misty Moonlight. So you can see you can use different paper out of that pack, and it will look pretty even if it's not the same paper that I started off with. And now you can see the mossy picks up the mossy from the tree, and on this one you're picking up the lights and the hat, right? So you're kind of, it blends around. Of course, snowflakes are a lot of fun because there is a snowman, right? So it's just really cool. One other thing I wanted to point out is this could also be done with the gifts in the same way. The one thing you won't have is this higher piece right here with the tree. So you're just going to want to make sure that you position it. I would probably make sure I positioned it at least as high as this. Let me pull this right off. Let's pull this. So we would want to make sure you positioned it kind of where the snowman is. No higher than that snowman. It's probably about an inch from the top here. And then you still have a little bit of room to overlap that stamped image with the wagon. So you could also make this a more like, this can be kind of more of a fun-loving card. And this one with the gifts on it would also, it would be very cute and sweet, but it's like maybe a little bit more of an adult card. And you've got some poinsettias, so you're going to have red and green, and you can make the gifts in the different colors, or just keep them all one color, do all the bows the same color, and just maybe add a little bit of color to the gifts, or you can leave the gifts white as well. You don't have to color them. So you could just have fun coloring that, and that could be an alternate image on that. And of course, you know, you can use the other stamp set for different images. So if you wanted to, this filled with fun, you could also do the same layout, right? And just pop in different images on the top here. If you did that though, probably would want to use different paper because this one really is skewed towards the holiday. But we do have some heart paper in that collection, so, and some neutral paper, so theoretically you could make it work with some of the more neutral patterns. Okay, I don't know. Do you want to vote on which card you liked better? Do you like the Misty card better, or do you like the Mossy? Misty and Mossy. How about blue card versus green card, or are they both equal in your estimation? Which color do you like better? Blue or green or both? Okay, I'm coming back over to you. I hope you had fun playing along today, because last night when I was designing this, I was like, I know I'm going to make this card in 2 different colors, but I was going through all the papers and I thought there's so many different patterns of paper here that I like, and I can't make up my mind. So you helped me make up my mind for me, and that way I didn't have to like decide which direction I wanted the card to go in. So, all right, I'll let you guys think about that, whether you liked the blue, the green, or both equally. So one thing that Marty always reminds me, Marty's on my team and she's a wonderful cheerleader for me. I appreciate her so much. And she always says, don't forget to give Brenda a thumbs up. So if you like this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I would love for you to subscribe, because that helps me get seen by more people. And if you want to get notified when I go live, there's a little notification bell. Click on that and you can set your notifications to get notified when I'm doing a video. Of course, I do go live every Tuesday and Friday and at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's pretty regular. But we all get busy and we forget, so it's just nice to have that little reminder coming into our inbox for that. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see. Ooh. Oh, I'm going to have to do another tally. It used to be that I didn't have to do that. I could just count. But I have more people coming to my lives now, which makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm going to do a little tally. Got both. I've got Misty, and I have got Mossy. Mossy is green, so my brain doesn't blank out. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, Kristen says both. Brigade says Misty. Janine says both. Louise says Misty. Sandy says both. Amy says Misty. Marty says both. Mary says both. Nancy says green. I think we have some green lovers here too. Barbara says both. Lynn says, oh, Lynn, thank you for letting me know what your user ID means. I like to call people by their names, but if I can't sometimes guess, right? So Lynn says green. Nancy says both. There are more than one Nancy on here, and usually more than one Mary on here too. So Mary, the one with the gifts will be cute for Christmas. Mary says she loves them both. Okay, getting to the end, and Amy says both. Okay, wow. So just a quick tally. 9 people said they love both. 3 people said they love blue better, and 2 people said they love green better. So I think that just goes to show you that you can use the different patterns of paper and make pretty cards with a bunch of different patterns. So that's a good thing. And there's another blue pattern, and there's a few green patterns, and there's a few pecan patterns. So I would just have fun and play with them. And you know what's even more fun? Once you've made the cards, take a picture. Like if you're making these like for Christmas cards, maybe it's not this exact card, but maybe it's another card, and you do different patterns. Take a picture with all the different patterns and colors. It always looks nice, like if you just spread them out and have a look at them. Okay, let's see. Let's go back. And Catherine voted both at the end there. So yeah. So we've got a good little spread of people liking a lot of different things. So I'm going to say hello to all of you. Hello, Mary. We've got a lot of Marys on here. I think I've counted at least 3 Marys, and you're all welcome. So this is Mary Thompson. She says she really likes my ideas, and she watches when she can. And she's from Boulder City, Nevada. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Ellie says, yay, Christmas in July. I know, Christmas in July, which feels really weird because it's so hot out. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the heat in the US. It has been super hot. Yesterday, if you're Fahrenheit, it was in the 90s, the low 90s. And I feel like that's unusual for Massachusetts, but hey, what do I know? I've only been here 10 years, but when we first moved here, I don't think it was that hot, but it's been pretty hot. And Ellie says she's got heat too. Amy says it's supposed to be 96 this weekend. No thanks. Yeah, send the weather back. But then I remember we also complain about it being too cold, right, in the winter. So I guess we can't have it both ways. Amy says hello from Colorado. Carol says from Weeki Wachee, Florida. Hello. Lynn is from Magnolia, Delaware. Sorry, you did give me your name earlier. I just didn't see it because it was one of the earlier comments. Let's see. Hello, Lori from hot and humid Quebec. We can't escape the humidity. I think right now a lot of us are thankful for AC. If you have it, I hope you have it. And Amy says she's got 99 degrees Fahrenheit for Deer Park. That's really hot. Really hot. My sister messaged me yesterday, and it's super hot up in British Columbia too. Amy's just like a little bit below in Washington State, so whenever Amy posts, I think of my family that's in British Columbia. Hello, Birgit. Hello, Kristen in Colorado. Hello, Sandy from San Antonio. Good morning, Shannon from Southern California. Lots of people here. Good morning, Janine from Northwest Indiana, and Marty from Pittsburgh. And Nancy says good morning to me and friends. Lovely. I'm just reading. I'm skipping a few comments because they're more personal in between people. And hello, Barbara. Oh, yeah, I think, Barbara, you and I had a little chat on email, and she's from New Brunswick, which is really cool. She's from the opposite side of Canada that I'm from, and it's also hot and humid. I think the humidity and the heat is very hard to escape right now if you're in North America. Oh, and Ellie says, heads up, postage is increasing soon from 68 to 73 cents. It's getting crazy with the postage. It's really, going up so much all the time. But a card is still a really inexpensive way to send someone some love. So it's still cheaper than a lot of things in life. So I think we're still going to keep doing it, right? Mary says hello from Indiana. Barbara says, thanks for doing Christmas in July. I love making Christmas cards all year round. I'm actually working on cards for Christmas 2025. No way, Barbara. That I wish I had the time to do that. I'm like, my life right now, I just keep thinking, oh, things will get really easy, and it just, you know what? I'm just along for the ride, and I'm going to be okay with not being 100% in any one area. We'll just keep working on things. I'm proud of myself. When I look back, I'm so proud of myself for everything I accomplished last year and continue to accomplish. But my detail-oriented brain is a little disappointed because, like, I feel like, oh, I didn't quite do that good enough, right? And I really wish I could have finessed that a little bit better. You know, like, I think we're very hard on ourselves, especially if you're detail oriented. And I would love to work ahead with things, but it's just not going to happen right now. So I'm going to have to go and just go, okay, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But I love it when I hear people can work ahead, because that's where what I would like to do. Maybe not working like a year and a half ahead. That will probably never be me, Barbara. But the fact that you're able to do that, that gives me hope. Maybe life will calm down again at some point and I'll be able to be on top of things again. All right. Judy says, hello. And it's her first time here from hot Arizona. Oh, and her set is on the way. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy the set. I think it's going to be a great Christmas set. And don't forget, you might want to pick up the dies if you don't already have them, or the bundle, either one, if you want to do some die cutting with that. And I really want to do a 3D with that little wagon piece. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I haven't even looked at it, but I'm just like, I want to do something. So, but first of all, I have to see if those dies stay in stock, because if they don't, it's always kind of sad when I do a project and then no one can buy the stuff, and it's frustrating for everyone, right? Okay, we're looking at some colors. Marty says it's crazy the way the crumb cake label faded to green. I know it did. It, you know, and it's the sunlight, right? Because mine is in a holder, so the sunlight bleached out that bottom there. So yeah, light exposure is real, you know, even with cardstock. And that's why I actually don't have a cardstock rack behind me in my photo, because I was a librarian in a past life and I know about light exposure and it can fade stuff. So it looks nice, it looks wonderful, and if you go through your cardstock quickly, it's not a big deal. But I keep mine in file folders and they're a little bit into the interior of the room, so there's less light fading. I had that in color cardstock clipped last month when I was showing it very often, or it was 2 months ago now when we had the special. And when I undid that paper, you could see how, because it was clipped kind of accordion style, you could see how it just kind of had, even just in the month kind of being out on my desk, you could see the lines kind of fading. So yeah, light damage is real. So okay, moving along. Kristen said she thought the same thing. Was sure. You thought I was stamping with the wrong ink. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it fades, but it's light. It's light damage. Marty says she's slowly been getting the Stampin' Blends. I'm supposed to get the package from Stampin' Up! Today, and then she'll have all of them. Yay! Oh, and don't forget, I posted, I posted my blends chart down below in the description of the video, and also labels for your blends. So if you want to add labels, pick yourself up a 3/8 inch circle punch. There is a link down below in my Amazon links, and then you can punch these little guys out and add them to, oh, what? This one's not labeled. That is not good. I will need to label that. Oh, probably because it was a new one. I need to label my Mossy Meadow light. So here is my dark Mossy Meadow label, and that way I can tell them apart really quickly, because when they're on the rack, the lid color is somewhat accurate, but when you're dealing with plastics, I don't think you can finesse the colors quite as much. So there isn't quite as much contrast as there is with our other labels. So it's nice to have those labels on the ends. So I'm also have these on my blog in the resources tab. So that's another place to get them. But I did post them in this video if you want the direct links to those PDFs. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, and Louise says she actually uses more than one color to get the shading right. Sometimes what I find, especially with these small images, I don't do a lot of shading because there's not a lot of room to do shading. The only one that I really feel like could have maybe had some shading is the tree, but it already had a lot of different branches going on. So it also really, you can see, just if you look at my tree right there, it looks like it's got some different light and dark, and I left some white space as I was swooping up. So in that case, unless it's a big image where it's like a lot of open space, I tend not to do a lot of shading with the different colors. But yes, you can do shading and blending, and it looks really good. Marty says, don't forget to show us the tip for lining up the lights. Oh, shoot. Yes, I forgot that. Okay, let me do that real quick. So, okay, let me grab this. So, okay, this isn't perfect because you want to run your die through a scrap piece of cardstock like this. I'm going to clean off my stamp in the background here. And the other thing that is kind of good to do, my work surface is, I don't know what this is actually called, but it's a little bit tacky. So you want something that this won't stick too well. So like maybe a piece of computer paper like I've got here. And then I just kind of feed my stamp into the little grooves and kind of just feel with my fingers like it's kind of in those grooves. And then I take my stamp and I pick it up in that direction. And that should give me a pretty good lineup. So let's take this. And you could actually also use your die. It's another way. I feel like this is a little bit more open than the die, but then you can kind of test it out. And don't press down because this does have a cutting surface, but you can kind of test it out here and kind of see, okay, yeah, that lines up pretty well. Just don't press it down, just lightly lay it on top, and you can see it's gonna cut out your little bulbs, and it's going to be aligned. But I like to do the aligning with this die cut piece. Remember, it has to be the way the die comes down. So it will have to be, you'll have to remember that this is up. So if you're cutting your die like this, then this is up, and then you're going to put your, what would be stamped, like the line drawn side into here, and then pick it up with a block. That's how you would do it. So, and you can do that you can also do that with punched shapes, but anytime you have like a spindly die, like a line or something, that is long, that's when those tend to happen, where you get out of alignment, and then you're like, oh, this die is wrong. They did not do a good job, when really it's how you placed your stamp, right? So sometimes it's user error, human error, and so that will help you get it all aligned. All right. Thanks for that reminder, Marty. Can you hold up the faceted gems to the camera? I haven't gotten them yet and like to see them close up. I can absolutely do that. So here you go. Look at them. They're just beautiful. I do think these are out of stock right now. Last I looked, I'm just assuming they're going to be out of stock until the end of the month, but I'm using them as my gift of the month with the host code, so I'm hoping that I can get them because these are so versatile, and they've got a little 6-sided groove. So on the big ones, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and on the little ones it looks like it's more of a 5. Yeah, it looks like a 5 little thing, but it almost looks like a little tiny snowflake. They're very, very cute. Sorry, all the questions, you probably asked them a little while ago. You could also use the gifts from the other stamp set with the candle paper. Yes, it's lots of different options, right? The one with the gifts would be cute for a Christmas birthday card. Yes, that would be really sweet. Marty says, your recorded videos are great, but these lives are so much fun. You make it feel like we're all together. Yeah, it does. It really feels a lot more fun for me too, because I like answering questions. I really, really do. I think that's the librarian in me. I want to get people their answer to their questions. So it makes me happy. Oh, Judy says she's from Vancouver Island, BC. How cool. I love Vancouver Island. We used to camp there, I think twice when I was growing up. And we went to Long Island and Tofino and Ucluelet. And it was really, really beautiful out there. I love, love, love the island. Of course, we went to Victoria as well, but we didn't go up further past Nanaimo. So but it's beautiful. Vancouver Island is beautiful, and British Columbia is beautiful. That's why the slogan is Beautiful British Columbia, right? It is a beautiful province. Hello, Brenda from North Carolina. Barbara says, no worries, Brenda. She retired early, so she's got time. Oh, she says I do a great job. Well, thank you. And it's great. I'm happy that you got to retire early and got to do fun things. And, my job right now, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I do get to do some fun stamping in my life, and it's not a sad job, so that's a huge plus, right? It's like a very happy job. I get to share happy things with you, and so that's a lot of fun, right? So I'm not unhappy about that at all. I'm just unhappy sometimes that I can't do as much as I want to do, right? I hate to disappoint people, and that can be really difficult. Sandy said, thank you, Brenda. I'm so glad I was home to watch. Now off to run errands. Everyone enjoy the day. Well, I hope you have a good day too, Sandy. Marty says she's labeled all of her Stampin' Blends, and she says she thinks she needs a new punch. Oh, yours is getting pretty old and isn't punching very well. Well, first try punching through some foil. Double up some aluminum foil and punch through that. Sometimes too, you can also try wax paper. That kind of can help sometimes too, just to get it to slide a little bit better. But yeah, you might need a new punch if the edges are getting dull. Sometimes over time, it's just like a knife. A knife can get dull. So, and if you're using it a lot, those little circle punches do get used quite a bit. All right. Linda says, don't forget to like my video. Thank you, Linda. Marty said, in 6th grade, we did projects on the Canadian provinces. On hers was British Columbia. Oh, how cool. Yeah, my home province is pretty special. I think that's why my parents decided to settle there, and they were from Germany, and they came over and settled in Kelowna, and they never looked back. It was, I think, my dad's dream was to own a house, and we had the most beautiful view of Lake Okanagan. It was like a wonderful thing to grow up there. So I don't know why I wanted to leave so much. I was a strong-willed teenager who wanted to get out in the world. So I guess I did leave, and I did went lots of places, and but British Columbia still has my heart. It is a great place. All right, on that note, thank you all for joining me, and I will be back on Friday with a new live. Remember, those dies I used today, they're on low supply. I'm assuming they're going to come back in stock. Online exclusives are a little strange, or not strange, but they can be pulled from the collection at any time. They don't retire with normal retirements. So if they decide that they don't want to keep a product around, they won't. I think sometimes they're willing to bring something back if a bunch of people rally around a product if it retires, and they might bring it back. But so I think they're going to bring this back, though, because they have that new stamp set and they have the other stamp set that matches it. So hopefully they'll see this as a good thing and want to bring more dies back into stock. And hopefully they already saw that and already ordered it as people were buying it more quickly. All right. I hope you'll all join me over on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group and post your card over there. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.